Yeah. It's 4th and 5. Pressure tight, we never slide. DJ calling routes, Cook holding down the line. Eris in the backfield, reading all the signs. Throne running deep, got that Razorback pride. Film on the screen, we break it down clean. Talk real ball, no script, no green screen. From the hill to the dome, we ride for the team. Red blood, white cleats, and a hog in a dream. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, film on the screen, we break it down clean. Talk real ball, no script, no green screen. From the hill to the dome, we ride for the team. Red blood, white cleats, and a hog in a dream.
Hey.
All right, everybody, welcome into 4th and 5. As we get into it, a little late start, but we are rocking and rolling. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's on the playbook today as everybody's tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. Big Ten versus SEC. Man, they really want to step up with us. We're going to talk a little bit about it. Now, this will be an interesting one in the first drive with Coach Calipari, so make sure you stick around for that. And we got a big-time shoe deal that we got to talk about and discuss. But everybody, welcome into 4th and 5. I'm DJ Williams. That's Josh Throne. That's Matt Harris. And we have a very, very interesting dilemma going on right now. If you tuned in early, right at 6 o'clock, you probably heard a little bit about it. Everybody can hear Matt. No, sorry. Everybody can hear everybody except those two can't hear each other. For some reason, Matt can't hear Josh. We don't know why. We're trying to get it figured out. I know some people are in the chat trying to probably have some fun with the comments right now saying, oh, they're live. Y'all were privy to our whole conversation. Darren Hood is in the house saying, what's up? I'm finishing my morning workout. Nice. I'm here. Rise and shine. Everybody says, I hear him. I hear him. I think we hear all three. Yes, we are ready. Sorry for the issues. And so I started the show. So how this is going to work. Hey, guys, y'all know what? You got to audible. Got to go with the flow. We got to rock and roll. We got a show to do. We said we're going to be live every day. Then this is part of it. Now, it's been a minute. I had to turn the mics off to try to get some stuff situated. But I will try this one more time. All right, let me make sure I'm hearing this right. Matt, can you still not hear Josh?
I don't think he can.
Dang it. I need to hear Josh Throneberry.
I
can't hear Josh.
Here's what we can do.
Yeah, what can we do? Let's walk through it.
Here's what we can do.
Should I sign on to the show, like stream
No.
so I can hear him?
Here's what we'll do.
Is that
I'll call him.
2501?
I'll call him, and he can just keep the phone off to the side on speakerphone.
How about
I'll
this?
Go mute.
I take this. How about this? Call the you don't have headphones. You have Bluetooth headphones for your thingy?
Oh yeah.
Matt, you have to have Bluetooth headphones. Are you that primal? Oh my gosh.
This guy
plug in, baby.
He's running on a
Put it
wrong
in the
MacBook
weight
right
room.
now.
You could call into the show. All right. So everybody, don't forget, we do have a new fan line. If you're just now joining us, the number is 501-830-5255. The only issue with him calling into the show and listening to it on speakerphone, we would hear the echo over his microphone. Okay. So how we are going to make this work will be difficult, but hey, look. I was in broadcast for 10 years. Okay. And I was the point of communication from people in the studio out to the people on the other side of this camera. So I'll make it work. All right. So let's get into this thing. Like I said, we got a big time show for everybody. And once again, bracket challenge update. We got somebody out there, Matt, with the opportunity to win $450 based off the 4th and 5 bracket. Not much has changed since last weekend. So still, Anna Campbell sits atop of the list. Right behind is Ebony Mitchell with her 2 brackets. I said you can make as many as you want. And Josh Throne is in 4th place. Once again, if Josh wins this thing, I'm going to give him the money. I don't care if he works for us, because that means Arkansas is going a long way. I'm all for it. So hopefully we can get that up and running. Very pumped up for that. But let's go ahead and get into our first topic of the day. Actually, before that happens, there's a story that came up, fellas. It's really going to bug me. Y'all can't hear each other. Matt, if you need to move around and try to find some headphones, by all means, you do your thing. All right. But
I think you can hear me.
I think you can hear me now, right?
I can hear him now on
Okay, there we
on
go.
his speakerphone. Can y'all hear Josh's echo?
Not really.
It's really not that bad. Let's make it work. Are you good to go now?
Yeah, we're ready to roll.
All right, let's roll. All right, so before we get into what we have for y'all today, once again, the rundown is going to be Big Ten versus SEC. I really want y'all to give some comments about that. Coach Calipari, we're going to phrase this a little bit later, but 5 years into the program, that's what his contract is going to be 3 years from now. Hiring him, coming over from Kentucky, big-time name, big-time contract, NIL budget. We're very happy with the basketball team right now, but if you go back then, would the decision say we're going to give him everything possible to succeed? Is it national championship or bust? We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. We have a fun today in history lined up for you today. The Blitz, sponsored by Othar, Arkansas. We're going to talk about Moses Moody. I don't know if you've seen what happened to him, a very bad injury. I'm going to have the doc call in this morning, and we're going to have the conversation hopefully about his future if he's going to play basketball again. It looked pretty bad. Hopefully we can talk about that. Also, we got a fun Blitz segment as well with Darius Acuff Jr. and his deal with Nike. But I was in the TV business for 10 years, okay? And sometimes things pop up. I'm just like, did you hear that? Are y'all ready for this? There was a story that came out the other day. And this is just in case you missed it. All right. So are y'all familiar with this name right here? Dayton Weber. He became a champion cornhole player after losing his limbs. Are y'all familiar with this guy? Matt, you kind of put your head down. Josh, are you familiar with him?
I became familiar with him recently.
Pretty wild stuff. All right. And he has an incredible story. When he was young, he had a disease, some kind of bacteria that caused him to lose all of his limbs, all of them. All right. And so I'm reading through this story, and when I saw the headline, I was like, wait a minute, that can't be right. There's no way that can be right. Maryland man made history for the first quadruple amputee. All limbs gone, all of them. Okay. And I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a cool story. And then the story went on, and I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Change gears for a second. Not so good. All right. We got a bad boy on our hands, y'all. Not only did he become a world champion cornhole player after losing his limbs, he now faces murder charges in connection to a death of Bradrick Wells. The authorities said this on Monday. Okay, so this is what's wild. According to a statement from investigators with the sheriff's office in Charles County, Suburban County, Washington, D.C., Weber was driving a car in the front seat. His front seat passenger, while he was driving the car, they got into an argument. And that's when Weber allegedly shot Wells to death. So I'm listening to this story, fellas, and not trying to make this light at all. Somebody lost their life, but one cannot help to try to visualize how this happened. Okay. And so after that, there was two people in the back seat who bared witness to this all. Okay. After the shot, and after he killed Wells, he pulled the car over and asked the other two men in the car to help him remove the dead man from the car, hide the body. The others refused. They got out of the car and fled the scene. Weber got back in the car, drove away with the body of Wells, according to the agency. Pretty wild. Okay, so you're probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking, y'all. Like, how did this happen? Because
he's arrested.
The guy. I need an update, but one would assume the sheriff's office also.
Or they just
The sheriff's office also has not specified exactly how they suspect Weber was able to fire a gun while at the wheel of a car. It is wild. It's a wild story, and you see the picture. So the thing is, a lot of people are thinking maybe the people in the back seat had something to do with this, and they're trying to pin it on this guy, right? When you take in the circumstances. But I was thinking, how can this guy, no offense, drive, pull out his gun, shoot someone with no arms and no legs? Okay, it's tough to comprehend. However, I came across a video, And if this get pulled up in court, because I don't think he can say, Judge, how did I do this? Okay. I did come across this. This is on his YouTube page. He has a YouTube page. And fellas, he's more than capable. Loads a clip. Chambers it. And then he's able to hold. And then he released the whole clip. All right. So when I saw this, I was kind of like, ooh, if this pops up in, during testimony and they bring this as evidence saying that all this is possible, whoo. But then you got to think, while driving, this is wild. I don't know if I've come across a wilder story lately. So that was just in case you missed it. Somebody said, oh my goodness, Matt. That has can't believe he got, jeez. Okay. I'm not going to read some of these comments. Not going to read some of them. That is wild, y'all. So that's your in case you missed it for the day. Now let's get back to sports. How about that? And let's go ahead and start with that first drive. Let's get into it, fellas. All right, y'all. First drive sponsored by our fine folks over there at Southwest Auto in Arkadelphia. They're trying to take care of y'all. Family vehicles, rugged vehicles, don't matter. They got you covered. Cool thing about it when it comes to that service, you can't beat it. It's that small town service meets that big time selection over there at Southwest Auto. Plus, I'll say this time and time again, if you get a new vehicle at Southwest Auto, they'll take care of your tires for life. For life, y'all. Can't beat that. Go check them out in person in Arkadelphia or online over there at idriveswa.com. Fellas, let's get into, Matt, you representing the Washita in the house, Arkadelphia, loud and proud.
That's the blood, man.
That is the blood. If y'all don't know, Matt's dad played over there at OBU back in the day. A legend.
Did they got a statue of your dad up yet?
I think so, yeah. Yeah,
casual.
Wow.
Super casual.
Yeah,
super
I know.
casual.
It's funny. All of his friends give him a hard time. They're like, usually when they name stadiums after people, it's after they're gone. So, good for you, Cliff.
Somebody right now is saying, DJ, read the chat. No.
Do it, DJ.
Chat is on fire right now. I'm going to let y'all have fun over there in the chat.
Funny.
Oh, hell, whatever. Let's go through some of these comments. Y'all want to go through some of them? I'll try to be somewhat.
They're fair questions, DJ. How do you
I can't believe I can't. Never mind. All right, let's get into our first topic today.
Let's get to sports.
Yeah, let's get to sports. First topic, y'all, we got to talk about it. And yes, we will admit we are most likely going to be biased in this situation. So, fellas, take off the bias hat and let's try to approach this fairly, okay? Big Ten versus the SEC, okay? I know a few Big Ten people down here that I talk to daily, and they said they're tired of hearing the SEC talk. They said, we're here, and we've been here. And so the idea that the Big Ten is so far away from, it's hard for me to accept that. But then when you start looking at it, fellas, past 3 national championship winners, you look at the Sweet 16 right now. Go ahead, look. You can see right now, out of all the teams, 6 of them represent the Big Ten. They're making a lot of noise over there. You go do a little history check. The last teams as far as national championships, SEC won basketball last year. Then it's Big East, Big 12, ACC. You don't see a lot of SEC in there at all. So there goes our basketball argument. Let's go over to football. Yes, we remember the Alabama years. They went back and forth with Clemson for 4 years. LSU snuck in there. And then we got back to our role. LSU, Alabama, Georgia. Then NIL started kind of creeping in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana.
That's
wow. So, fellas, I got to ask you, do they have somewhat of an argument? Do we need to start paying attention and saying, is the SEC not what it used to be? Now, I know we got Oklahoma. I know we got Texas in the mix as well. But we may have to start putting a little bit more respect on, I would say, the Big 12. Josh, what you think?
I think you got to come play in the SEC, play some conference ball, and then see how you end up in the postseason. I mean, every SEC team has the worst thing against them. It's the fact that they got to play all these other SEC schools all year long. And then what do you get? You don't get credit for it. As Calipari says, you just get punished for it because your record's not as pretty as somebody in the Big Ten. So then you get in the postseason play. Well, you've got less SEC guys, and we all know tournament play isn't necessarily who the best team in the country is. It's who's hot right now. And we put a lot of credit on who's winning the SEC tournament or the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. But tournament play is not proof of longevity and being the best. I can have a hot day and win a game of, horse. That doesn't mean I'm the better shooter, right?
Right.
So I think you got to look at that. Last year in the SEC, 7 teams in the NCAA tournament. This year, Big Ten, I think, has got 6, like DJ said. So, I mean, does that mean, because of 1 year, some things change? This is turning of the tides? I don't think so. I think we got to see what holds out, from the longevity standpoint, fellas.
First of all, Josh, I want to say before Matt, you give your 2 cents on this. Very impressive, my friend. Dealing with a little mixed minus there, hearing yourself talk while you talk. If y'all are just now joining us, Matt still lives in 1962. He does not have headphones. All right. So we're having an issue with them hearing themselves through our stream. We don't know why yet. But so Matt has to have a different audio source so he can hear Josh talk. Okay. So if you hear an echo when it's just Josh talking, that's where that's coming from. But Matt, where you at on this whole Big 12 SEC deal, man?
The Big Ten is always a competitor. I don't think that's an argument that we're making here, but at the end of the day, we are biased, but at the same time, we are good. And we know that when we were in school, Florida was still winning basketball and football. Same thing, Ohio State and Michigan. Josh, to your point, exactly. I'm going to piggyback on that. Those are the only 2 dogs, man. Like every week, I remember people complaining. We used to have the schedule up in the weight room and like every week it was, you're at Bama, you got Auburn, you got LSU. Like an off week was A&M. Remember when we started playing A&M in 2009? Like we looked at A&M as an off week. Mm-hmm. The in-conference schedule in the SEC is built different. That's not saying that Michigan and Ohio State, the big guys in the Big Ten, can't compete. They obviously can. Indiana coming out of left field last year, incredible. That's a one-off. I think Cignetti is an incredible coach. He proved college football wrong last year with NIL. He flipped it upside down. I'm excited for an Indiana to come in. But to say that they're like a juggernaut and going to be a powerhouse in the Big Ten for the next 20 years, I wouldn't put my money on it. But at the same time, man, the scheduling is so hard. I coached a year in the Big 12. There was 2 teams in the Big 12 all year. Not Kansas, not Kansas State, and not Oklahoma State. It was OU and Texas. That's it. Like, we're ballers, right? Like, the eye test, whenever I was on the sidelines, that whole year, I was looking dudes up. I was like, man, I could take these cats right now. OU came out. Texas came out. And I said, hey, those boys are football players. They could come over to our league and they could play today. No one else in the Big 12 could do it. And I think the same thing in the Big 10. I think Ohio State and Michigan are the only 2 teams, Indiana included. I think if Indiana comes through our gauntlet of the SEC, you're going to Baton Rouge, you're going to Tuscaloosa, you're going to Jordan O'Hare. Man, I think you're going to be a 2-3 loss team. Maybe a 2-loss, but you're a 2-3 loss team. You're not in the playoffs. And I'm talking football here, obviously, but I think the same is true in basketball.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you go down to Florida, man. Florida got upset. Like, they had an off game. Look at Arkansas, man. Tennessee, Alabama. Like, you got so many teams that can – and Bruce Pearl, I think it was last week, came on and was like, hey, y'all, look, it's the SEC, it's the scheduling. Like, there's no comparison when you go and play that gauntlet. You beat up on each other all year and you give each other bad looks. So it's just like Josh said. I think the scheduling in the SEC is a big deal, and we don't get enough credit for it.
Real quick, before we move on to the next topic, and let me kind of piggyback off what you said. Turn your phone off real quick.
Me?
Yeah, turn it off. We're gonna try something. All right, we're gonna try something.
I miss you.
All
It's
right.
not going to work.
You don't think it's gonna work?
Guys,
Hold on.
Can
you hear Josh now? Go ahead, Josh.
You can't hear me. No.
Keep talking.
If the 4th and 5 people could understand the amount of wires and connections and ports that we have, you would understand DJ's frustration right now.
I have Bluetooth headphones somewhere, for the record.
Oh,
I don't know where they are.
It's okay.
All we got to do to solve
Katie
this equation
doesn't
is Matt
like
just needs
the
to put in
Bluetooth
one
going in my
earpiece.
brain.
Yeah.
One earpiece from his phone and then listen
We've had a weird
to
year,
us.
you know.
Yep. Sorry about that, Matt. All right. So sorry, y'all. I just hate that they can't hear each other, and I'm trying to get rid of that echo for our people watching. They're saying it's not bad, and maybe Matt, when he talks, maybe just put your phone away from the dilly, and you'd be good. You know what? Hold on. I think I got an idea.
For our first show ever, the live show when we didn't have audio at all.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Oh,
That was fun.
guys, the first show we ever did for football season, we opened up, and for the first 20 minutes, we were just running with no audio, and we thought we were having the best show in the world. Classic.
All right, so let's get it.
They're trying to play it off.
Say what?
And I was sitting there like, yeah.
It was awful. It was awful.
Today.
Okay, so fellas, I'm sorry. I want to be a magician, and I want to take care of our people. So this is what we're going to do. All right, I just sent y'all a new link, okay? I'm going to have y'all back off, and while y'all back out and then open up that new link to hop into the show, I think I did something to hopefully fix it. I'm going to take that time to talk about a new partner that we have, okay? So give me a second to pop this up, and when y'all go away, log out of the backstage thing that I have set up for y'all right now. Go to that link and then come back in. Now, your mic should be hot, so please be aware of that, and then hopefully when y'all come back, everything will be figured out. Sound like a plan?
Let's go.
All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to take care of y'all. This will be a great opportunity to talk about our friends over there at Parlay in 8th. This spot is amazing, okay? So March Madness, they got a big watch party coming up. You see it right there on the bottom of your screen. This is going to be up there in Northwest Arkansas. We've been up in Bentonville a lot, and then I came across this spot, and I said, what is that? That could probably be something good for 4th and 5, and then I started taking a little bit closer look. Take a look, all right? So talk about the spot to be when it comes to watching a game. This nothing short of amazing. This is on the 8th Street Market in Bentonville. More than 30 TVs, 2 full bars, shuffleboard, pool, elevated food, craft, cocktails. They got it all over there at Parlay on 8th. So once again, Thursday night, 8:45. Go watch the Razorbacks battle Arizona. It's going to be a really, really cool spot. Great opportunity to get out there and have a good time. So go hang out with our new partners. Very excited to have them. In the meantime, I'm going to leave this up for a second. I see my fellas are back. However, let me see if they can hear each other. So Parlay in 8th, Northwest Arkansas, Bentonville holding it down. And let's get to it. All right. So I see Matt backstage, everybody, and I'm bringing him in. And now I see Josh backstage, and we are going to bring him in. And then everybody have their fingers crossed. And Josh, can you please talk?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. We can hear me. Yeah.
We have arrived.
Yes.
Love it, baby.
Yes.
There's nothing better than a morning win, fellas.
Jeez,
There's
man.
nothing better than a morning win.
I'm not fired up. You're fired up.
All right, we are good to go. Somebody said, Rebecca in the chat, I'm so glad y'all can hear each other now, says, leave it to OBU fan not to have headphones or even earbuds. Oh, my gosh. Rebecca coming at them.
Old school, baby. Old school. You know?
Oh, that's fun stuff. All right, now that we can hear each other, let's go ahead and keep this thing going. Echo's gone. We're back in track here on this Wednesday morning, March 25th. Let's get to our second topic of the day. We talked about Coach Calipari, fellas, all right? Big fan of him. You know we are. This will be a tough one. I want you to be open-minded on this one, okay? So, when it comes to Coach John Calipari, over his time at Arkansas, is it championship or bust? All right? I know you're thinking, dang, DJ, you're already going championship or bust. I'm not saying this year. I don't think they have to win the national championship this year. But I kind of phrase this as when we hired Coach John Calipari, big contract, biggest name in basketball, we couldn't believe it. We were shocked. Give him the NIL budget. Let's see if he can go and bring all that top talent, which he did. We got potentially the best player in college basketball on our team right now. By the time he's done being a Razorback head coach, if he has not won a championship, is it a bust? And I think for this, fellas, you have to go back to when it first started, when he first came over, the expectations. And I know that's a tall task. And I go back to Eric Musselman. You know, fans liked him. Some were ready to move on. But didn't he go to back-to-back Elite Eights and then the Sweet 16, like in a 3-year span? pretty dang good as a program, right? That's where you want to be in March. Coach Cal's trying to get there. If this is something where it's exciting all year, we have a good run in the tournament, but don't win it all, do you think we'll be satisfied with that, or does he need to win a championship?
Man, I think Cal's last championship, DJ, was 2012. I was still in college. I don't know if you were still in college. And then he went to the Final Four in 2015. So to hire him and expect a national championship right out the gate when he hasn't had one in over a decade, I think is, not a fireable offense, if that's what you're asking. If the bar is set at a national championship, is it a bust if he doesn't deliver that right now? No, it's the NCAA tournament. We want to be in contention for a national championship every single year. And we want a national championship. But year two, after bringing us to the Sweet 16 and his first year coming into an organization and a team that had one player left on the roster and it was a walk-on, come on. He rebuilt it, brought it back to the Sweet 16. And then, hey, here we are again, Sweet 16 versus Arizona. If he makes a run and gets past Arizona, I'd say money well spent on him. He's put us in the national spotlight. Have we had more national attention than we do right now under Calipari? I don't think so. Have you been to the games that that up in Bud Walton, DJ? I don't know if you've been to a game in the past couple months.
Fun?
A basketball game.
Electric?
Dude, it's insane. Yeah, it's been great up here. So between what he's done for us on TV, marketing, advertising, what he's done for us with this team, Darius Acuff, arguably the best player in college basketball right now. I mean, he's the next AI. We have the next AI. And AI said that, not me. He said he's the next him. If we have that type of player on our team and we're under this type of spotlight and we're little old Arkansas, everybody's got something to say about the Woo Pig Suey fellas. But here we are with John Calipari doing what we're doing. It's insane. John Tyson, thank you. No, this is not. He doesn't have to win a national championship. I just like to see the fact that, man, if we can play some good basketball against Arizona, all of a sudden we have a national championship opportunity. We've been in games with Duke. We've been in big games with guys consistently in the SEC. We just won the SEC tournament for the first time in 20 years. No, this isn't national championship or bust time right now. Eventually, it'll get there because Calipari's naturally going to have you, so close to the carrot every year that people are going to finally be like, no, he's got to get it.
Well, that's the question, Josh. At the end of this 5-year deal, does it have to get there?
I don't see how you could say that it has to get there. I mean, that's where your hopes are going to be. But how, at the end of 5 years, if you've been to a Final Four, an Elite Eight, a couple Sweet 16s, and you're a point or two away from getting to a national championship, you're firing him? Well, no, basketball?
It's just, I look at it like,
what's the alternative?
Like, how about this?
Changes when people say, show me the other guy. Just like in football. Show me the other guy, and then I'll tell you if we should move on.
That's where I was kind of like with James Franklin. I mean, Penn State, you want to win 10 games every year? Sounds nice, right? I think most college teams in college football would do it. However, he didn't win the championship, and we got to move on. We talked about our guy Hubert Davis I think over there at North Carolina. He was in the championship game.
In 5 years, if that's what we're saying.
He was in the championship game like 4 or 5 years ago, and then he's struggling the past 2 years. Boom, get him out of there. This is North Carolina. Now, I get the expectations there. Maybe a little bit different when it comes to basketball here, but I think I'm just curious, was the intention of giving him everything he wanted, was the expectation, now go win us a national championship?
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so if it doesn't happen, will it be because there's some coaches, if Silverfield doesn't win a national championship, I think we'll be like, it would have been nice. But if we hired Saban and gave him the bank and gave him NIL, hey, this better work.
Yeah.
That's where I would compare the two there.
But this is basketball in a transfer portal era, in an era where people are one and done.
I would think it's easier to do it in basketball.
And that's been Calipari's motto. Even at Kentucky, it's been a one and done world when you're recruiting top tier talent. They held on to him for over a decade and didn't let him go because they expected a championship in 5 years. Mm-hmm. I think that. You've got to take that stuff into the equation. This is especially now that we're in a transfer era and we're in the one and done era. And now, we're in the NIL era where there's money involved in this. So I think that number one, because of the NIL situation, you can hold on to talent a little bit more and help build your roster, because a lot of guys can't just go and be a lottery pick in the NBA, make all this money. Some guys are going to be 4th, 5th round NBA draft picks, whereas in the old days, maybe they did move on because they could finally make some money. Now you can make more money in college. So you can start building some depth to your roster and have some older guys that are, leading your front court, that are more dominant in college, but aren't going to translate that type of domination to the NBA. But then you got your guards, and he's a guard coach. You got the top tier guards that have ever left. I mean, I think as far as coaches goes, he's put more top tier guards in the NBA than any other coach. So yeah, you recruit that young talent, the high flying, flashy talent, the Malik Thomases, the Darius Acuff Juniors, and you build your roster that way. And now you spend a lot of money on that to make sure that you're in contention to be able to win. That's the recipe. And I think now the Calipari recipe has more chance and opportunity to exist. That way you can line the pockets of some of your other guys that you need to have some veteran leadership in college that can actually, stick with you. So your roster looks a little bit different than it did when everybody would just say, I'm going to the NBA because at least I can make $1. I think that changes things.
Matt, where you at on this?
Yeah, no, I think there's two sides of the coin on this. DJ, you brought up a good point with Musselman, man. We were Elite 8 with him. You get a Calipari like that.
Perry.
I think it's a great comparison with a Nick Saban. But there is a thing, to Josh's point, on building all of the other pieces here, right? We just won the SEC title. We can't ignore that, right? Like when we talk about like the football expectations, if we're in Atlanta, like that's an expectation. I don't think it's realistic to say we're going to win a national championship every year, but like I think it's fair to say that we should make a run at Atlanta every year, right? So I think about it from a football perspective. If he's building a program and getting guys like Darius Acuff, the next AI, I mean, the guy's the truth. We all see it. He just got SEC Player of the Year. We just won the SEC tournament. We hadn't done that in 20 years, right? So, I mean, he's building a resume like I dare say a Nolan Richardson. He's got that program. And to Josh's point too, man, like it's not a one and done anymore. If you're a 4th, 5th round pick, now you're going to stay with a guy like Coach Calipari. So
Nice.
I like it. But then to your point, in 5 years, if he doesn't win a championship, we did just go get a Nick Saban. If he doesn't win a national championship with the Tyson money and the NIL support that he's got, it will be upsetting. I don't think we fire him, but now his seat's getting a little warm. So I like what he's doing right now. I think everyone is. But man, you got to win a ship, man.
I think if you know basketball, you can look at the Calipari formula and go, okay, no, in the NIL world, this is actually going to work. It just comes down to having a healthy roster. If you're recruiting all this talent, you can't go into the tournament and start having hamstring injuries, start having the Carter Knoxes fall off, start having the Nick Pringle stuff, because that's going to cost you when you're relying on playing 7 guys and you put all your money into these 7. But the other way around, if you spread your dollars thinner over a bigger roster, you're not able to land that type of talent. So the stars have to align in a lot of different ways. You've got to make sure that you've got that veteran leadership, that the Brazils that have been around 4 years in college basketball and can help you dominate. You got to make sure that you've got, your quick, high flying, really electric Darius Acuffs and Malik Thomases. And you got to keep everybody healthy and all those different units there. And then you can make that national championship run. So, that's why when we were talking about the injuries yesterday, DJ, that's why it's so important for Pringle and the Knoxes to come back, because you're looking at Calipari going, if you know what you're looking at, just in the slightest, you're going, man, if Pringle and Knox weren't hurt and those weren't, teetering on the line there, we'd feel a lot more confident about where this team sits on continuing to get past Arizona and making a deep run.
Yep.
And if those cards, played in our favor, all of a sudden you've got him. Now, how's that in Calipari's control? So why you fire a coach for this type of stuff? You see what I'm saying? Why would you get to 5th year and go, no, because you're betting on stars aligning, and they got to align in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I'm not indicating, like, I'm with you. Fire Calipari. Who are you going to go get?
I'm talking to the people that would say that.
Yeah. My thing is he may retire. He may say, okay, I'm good. I've had my run. Boom. I brought a lot of joy to Bud Walton. I brought one of the best players to ever walk through this place. I got you a SEC championship. You hadn't had one of those since Nolan back in the day. It was fun. It was a fun ride. It was very exciting to be a Razorback. And I think for most Razorback fans, That is very refreshing. Okay. Especially going from football season, you're like, oh, when's basketball coming? And then you get this. And so I like it. If you want to be a part of the conversation, if you have 2 cents on this, all you have to do is call 501-830-5255. Also, here in about 5 minutes, we're going to be joined by Dr. Eric Gordon from Ortho, Arkansas. Former Razorback Moses Moody had a awful injury. I just want to make sure and maybe get an idea that he's going to play basketball again. He's with Golden State, and we're going to talk about it. And I want to let people know before we even get there, viewer discretion advised. Okay, It does not look good at all. But we'll have the good doc on to talk about that. Very excited about that. But let's get back to some of these comments right now. Jim Gum is in the comment section right now. He says, after Coach Cal, it'll just be a bridge coach. Who's going to buy us some time until we get to a spot? Because you don't want the I still don't know how Kalen DeBoer said, yeah, let me go follow Nick Saban real quick. I would have said, let somebody else get there for like a year or two. Let them, and then bring me in. Right. We got Mike in the comment section right now saying that whining about this team or his team having unexpected injuries was Rich. Mark Pope, that is the coach over there at Kentucky. I know Kentucky fans must be looking at this Razorback fans, you got to love that. And I'm so happy for Coach Cal. I mean, they ran him out of that building. They ran him out. I'm
not trying to be Kentucky 2.0.
We got to learn from other people's mistakes. Donna is in the chat saying, great discussions. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. Chris Caver, he's ready to get back to Atlanta. He wants football team to get back to Atlanta. Paige Moeller is up watching this morning. She's over there in Texas. Fourth and five
era.
Crushing era. I'm assuming that's some Taylor Swift stuff. I don't know, but I think it's a good thing. I appreciate it.
I was talking about the NIL era, the one and done era. So she's just putting
okay. So this is you. This is you. This is in from Anthony Thomas. Missouri prepared Arkansas for Arizona. Missouri is more physical than Arizona. Ooh. I tell you, we talked about Nick Pringle. But how fun would it be to have Carter Knox? Now, I know it's been speculation. Is he ready? Are they sneaking him in there? Meniscus tear. You heard the doc talk about it. It's possible to come back depending on what's done. I bumped into a guy yesterday. I was out in Little Rock. We actually got onto the elevator together. I was like, oh, what's up, bro? I ain't seen you in a while. This dude's super connected. Okay. And I said, how cool would it be if we get Knox back? He said, Knox is done. And he's someone where I'm just like, he knows a thing or two. Okay. He's in those circles. But Pringle, good to go. Allegedly. That would be really good for us. Johnny Vincent saying it as well. We need Pringle back tomorrow. I think Pringle, Matt, I'm with, think about it like this. All in game, hamstring injury. We've been there before. Mm-hmm. If you hurt that one even more, you can still bounce back. Right?
You can play, man.
You can play. Get out there. Give me about 10, 12 good minutes.
What about that shot? Can't you get a shot in there so you just don't feel it?
Well, no, that doesn't work for hamstrings. The lidocaine shot, no, not for hamstrings. But we talked about PRP. Doc Gordon said the other day, sometimes it will prolong it depending on how quick you need to get back. But yeah, I mean, I think you got to risk that one, right? And if you're out there and you go full speed and you're like, kind of like Kevin Durant when he was playing in the finals against the Raptors, and he kind of was coming back from a calf, a strained calf, and now I think he did end up missing the whole next season. So maybe that one wasn't worth it. Right? So maybe not a good example, but a hammy, we can bounce back from a hammy.
Shit, man.
Yeah, we tried to get there. All right.
40 years old thinking, man, I wish I played in that Elite Eight or versus that Arizona game. And it's basketball. It's not like football, right? You're not out there banging like that. You can go spot up, man, right? You can play your game, I feel like, but we'll see. If knowing now, being an old head, I got gray in my beard. Man, I go back and break every bone in my body.
Knowing what we know now. Okay, we're about to be on standby. The doc should be calling in any second. We're going to switch to the Blitz, okay? And before we even get to the Blitz, I'll kind of give y'all a heads up of what we're talking about, okay? So as we line up Dr. Gordon at Ortho, Arkansas, We're going to be talking about the deal between Darius Acuff Jr. and Reebok, okay? Here is a little soundbite that I saw the other day of Pat McAfee's show. Coach Calipari was on, and they were talking about this deal. And really, Pat McAfee being introduced to one of the best players in college basketball.
Tell me about Acuff. This guy's awesome. He just signed with Reebok, just signed with AI. We're pumped to see that. We love the fact that AI is going to be mentoring him probably for the rest of this, let alone you in his life forever. I've obviously known about him a long time. I remember coming out of high school, this guy had one of the greatest crossover mid-range jumpers of all time. And then at the beginning of this season, I remember seeing him play a lot of basketball. And it wasn't until just very recently maybe I had my eyes on him the most. And it's like, wow. This guy, I had no idea this guy existed. Why did I not know that this guy was playing college hoops? He's special.
He's special indeed. How fun is that? So we're going to dig into Reebok. I got a question I want to ask y'all about this, but I'm looking backstage right now, and the good doctor is on standby. So let's go ahead and bring in Dr. Gordon right now. Dr. Gordon, are you there?
I'm there.
All right, so I wanted to bring you in. So we had you on, was that yesterday, maybe 2 days ago? I can't remember. Times have flying by. But since then, something happened to a former Razorback, Moses Moody. And now you had the opportunity to see this video that I sent you yesterday. And I do want to warn people before we show this video, it is pretty gruesome, okay? You hate to see this with athletes, but Doc, based off what you saw with Moses Moody yesterday, I want to know, can you tell us exactly what happened and what's the recovery process? Is he going to play football or basketball again?
Yeah, that's a tough one. No blood, but still pretty gruesome, like you said. I think, long story short, yes, I expect he'll play basketball again, but it's going to be a long road ahead. But we can see in that video, he gets the steal, drives down, goes up for the dunk, and just goes to push off, and his knee just buckles on him. And then they show the close-up shot of him laying on the ground with his knee bent, and his knee looks really funny. Well, the reason it looks funny is because you can see his femoral condyles, which is basically the end of his thigh bone kind of protruding through the skin, or under the skin. Now, normally you don't see it like that because the kneecap is in the way. The kneecap blocks your view of the bone like that. So what happened when he went to push up is that his patellar tendon ruptured. The patellar tendon holds the kneecap down to his shin bone. So when that tore, along with all the soft tissue around it, his kneecap pulled up above his knee. So it pulled up proximally, and then you can see the knuckles of his thigh bone just sitting there. So that's what it looks like, is a patellar tendon rupture. There's also, I'm sure, some additional soft tissue injury around there for it to pull up and be that obvious. There's a whole sleeve of tissue there we call the retinaculum that is likely also torn. So it's more than just tendon injury. It's all the soft tissue around it that got torn. So, yeah, unfortunate. He'll have to have that fixed surgery. That will not heal without surgery. But it is, I mean, technically like a straightforward repair. Just have to go in there and repair all that tissue, sew the tendon back to the bone, repair the retinaculum. And like the meniscus of the cardiac, it's going to take some time to heal. So he'll probably be, not really able to use or bend that knee very well for about 6 weeks. So that's to hold his knee straight. He should be able to walk on it as long as he's peg-legged, but they won't want to let him bend it much. Of course, during that process, things heal, but also the muscle atrophies. So that's the kicker with this kind of injury, is it takes a long time for that muscle then to build back up. Not to the point where he just walk, but, to play professional basketball. So it's going to be a long recovery, potentially 6 months to a year, to really fully get over that.
I see. This was why I used to play pickup basketball, Dr. Gordon, and, I'm not as athletic as I used to be. And, I'm already terrified by if I go down the steps too fast, I'm going to pop an Achilles. And this, once again, gives me more indication that I need to sit myself down and get off that basketball court. But yeah, we're going to be praying for Moses Moody. We hate to see that for one of our guys right here from the state of Arkansas, former Razorback. Now, Doc, I will say this. I mentioned playing basketball. I've been to the athletic club, and I've seen some folks play some basketball, and They're a little bit older than I, okay? And they still trying to move around a little too much. Not too long ago, I saw somebody pop an Achilles, okay? So if this happens, if they need to go, where would you recommend? I have an idea that they should probably make their next pit stop if they're dealing with any orthopedic injury.
Well, obviously, come in and see us. And we'll be glad to help with it. But it is crazy like that. And, of course, Moses is younger than us. He's a high-level athlete, got the best athletic trainers looking after him, and stuff still happens. So can't totally prevent it, but definitely before you get out there and play, I say, light warm up, stretch, and try to loosen things up first. And you may limit some of this. Yeah. But it is kind of crazy because oftentimes there's no warning. It just happens all of a sudden. I mean, he's going high pace, plays the whole game. They're in overtime, and then all of a sudden he goes up for one play, and boom, there it goes. So it's just bad luck sometimes. But definitely, obviously, if something happens and give us a call, we'd be glad to help people out. That's what we do.
All right, man. Dr. Gordon, I appreciate you for your time. Have a good morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, that's Dr. Gordon over there at Ortho Arkansas, orthopedic specialist. You see him in sports medicine specializing, but gruesome. Josh, you hear that? Matt, y'all hear that? Now, Matt, you still look like you're pretty athletic. Josh, you and me, we got to no. We got I said you and me. All right, let's be real.
No offense. Don't throw me in the boat with anybody like that.
We got some work to do, okay? You and me, we got to warm up a little bit before we get out there rolling, all right? But you too, Matt. All right, we're getting up there in age, okay? All right. Y'all ready to go ahead and get into the Blitz?
What kind of show is this?
He ain't like that, did he? All right, let's go ahead and hop into it. The Blitz. Oh, yeah. You just heard from him, Ortho Arkansas. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete, collegiate, high school, or an athlete at all. Any orthopedic need, they got you covered. When it comes to sports injury, joint pain, or something just ain't moving like it used to, Ortho Arkansas has specialists across the state ready to help. 10 locations, extended orthopedic, urgent care hours. Get that expert care when and where you need it. Learn more at orthoarkansas.com. Now let's go ahead and get into the Blitz, fellas. Y'all know how this works. Everybody watching right now, I need you to go to the chat. Who do you want to represent you today for a chance to win a coffee mug? Every time I say a coffee mug, I know Valpal's in the chat like, okay, another one. We'll get you taken care of. Don't forget, it may be a while because our production staff is on spring break, okay? So when they come back, they'll get the mugs in the mail. But right now in the chat, I need to let who are you playing for? And we can go ahead and get this thing started. So the first topic, fellas, Darius Acuff Jr. Signed a deal with Reebok. Very excited one. You heard Coach Calipari talk about it. You heard Pat McAfee talk about it. But I'm curious nowadays, has the days passed where brands really benefit from an athlete? Okay. I go back a little nostalgic. When Allen Iverson came out with the AIs, everybody rushed to the stores. They had to get them. Nike needed Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did not need Nike. Okay. The brands were so dependent on the athletes. But does there become a stage, fellas? I want to know where the brands become so big, it doesn't matter who wears it. It will always be seen as a luxury item, a must item. And right now, I think in the world of sports, it's Nike versus everyone else. All right. Nike just sits at the top. It's almost like they can't miss. So in regard to the shoe deal with Reebok, do you think Darius Acuff Jr. will bring this thing home and bring Reebok back to relevance? Or is that mountain just too tall to climb? Josh, your time. Oh, we got to figure out who we're playing for. Oh, I almost jumped the gun. Whoa, almost jumped the gun.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Here we go. Let's go. All right. Buffy's sports thing. Buffy, you on birthday watch. Buffy's birthday is tomorrow. Matt, you're going to be playing for Buffy, okay? So if you win, we're sending Buffy a mug, all right?
Let's go.
Audrey, you won yesterday. Okay, you won yesterday. Just sitting here chilling, catching strays from DJ.
Yeah. Johnny Vincent says, "Let's go, Josh." Then right follows that up with Josh needs to cheat to win. I mean, I can't figure out what Johnny's got.
He says,
are you with me or are you against me, brother?
Johnny says, Josh, you got time to use Chat GPT. He wants to know before he picks you. You can't even wash the rims of your wife's car without warming up. Who is
That's my dad. That's my father.
You're playing.
That's my father.
I called him the other day, told him my lower back was hurting. I was like, man, I want to develop a device that you can put on around your shoulders where it has like an adjustable peg that rests on your chest. So when you're bent over, it braces you from the ground. I got lower back issues.
Here's the comment right here. Josh, you can't even wash the rims of your wife's car without warming up. All right. So that being said,
I got degenerative disc disease, man. Come on.
Josh, you're playing for your dad today. See if you can get old Ron a good old coffee mug. All right. So, all right.
After that, I want him to lose.
No, lock in. We got to win. All right. Josh, are you ready for your round?
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Let me warm up.
Your time starts now.
All right. So, Darius Acuff, is he bigger than the brand? Does the brand need him? I don't know. Look, I've got a couple shoes here. Donovan Mitchell. Do you know who made these? Adidas. Partnered with Will Smith. We don't remember this, do we?
No.
Now we do remember this.
Oh, yeah.
Kobe's.
Kobe.
These are the Kobe's, okay? I've got a couple shoes here. And here's what I'll say. Certain brands at certain times need certain people. The Jordan era of Nike made Nike to what we know today. And then a lot of athletes followed suit, like Kobe, who had a lot of respect for what Jordan had laid down. But Reebok hasn't been relevant since back when AI was had a deal signed. So I think they have to reinvigorate themselves. Signing a deal with the next AI is the best way that they can do that. So yes, they need them. They need them.
All right, there we go. Argument. Reebok needs Darius. Darius don't need Reebok. Matt, let's make your argument. Are athletes bigger than the brand, or is the brand always reigns supreme? Your time starts now.
Hey, look, brands are already, they got their culture set. I remember when Reebok was the sponsor of the NFL, man. That's where I come from. But Darius Acuff is the first player in the SEC since Pistol Pete Maravich to lead it in points and assists. If that doesn't help their cause, I don't know what will. I don't think Acuff needs this brand. He's going to be all right. He's going to top lottery pick in the NBA. He's going to be just fine. So I think Reebok is going to reinvigorate themselves a little bit. He's the first NCAA player, collegiate player to sign a major deal like this. Cooper Flagg got one with New Balance, for goodness sake. If New Balance can go get Cooper Flagg and try and get them on the map, man, Acuff's going to do a thing or two for Reebok.
All right, there we go. Yeah, you brought up Coop Flagg. I ain't buying no Coopers. I'll tell you that. I ain't buying no flags. It's just interesting nowadays, man. It's just Nike versus everyone else. It's very interesting. Shaq, you got Chris Caver. Shaq, I think Shaq is a partner in Reebok now.
Yeah,
and he wanted Acuff.
Reebok's been so off their game.
Yeah.
In 2023, they re-upped a deal with Shaq and AI. I mean, that's how they don't have. Part of the reason is that this whole new generation of people, kids that are coming up, they're not like, brand snobs. I don't feel like they're not affiliated with, I got to be with Nike. I got to be with this. They'll go put on some Pumas and play basketball, And so they're really looking for the money.
Yep.
Money talks.
Round one. Josh, you got round one. It's an early lead. Early lead. Early lead. That was solid.
But this actually deserves more time. I know we're probably running out of time. DJ's probably don't do this, but Nike needed Jordan at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Nike needed Jordan. Jordan changed Nike forever.
Yeah.
Now, I honestly don't think that there can be another player that has that type of impact. I think that in the 80s and early 90s, all eyes were on television. So everybody across the nation, be it a kid, a teenager, a young adult, or parents, had to watch television. And so all eyes were on TV. And guess who was on TV? Nike and Michael Jordan. Nowadays, people got so much distraction. You can't get that big of an audience all in one place. So I don't think we can ever have that type of effect again.
Yeah, and basketball is different. Like I couldn't tell you what cleat someone wears. Does anyone have a special cleat? No. I couldn't tell you what Usain Bolt was running in. Maybe
Prime has a cleat.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders has had a cleat for a long time. And Michael Vick had a cleat.
Okay.
I had the Michael Vicks.
Yeah.
I would say the next biggest influencer when it comes to shoes in the world of sports, in my opinion, Ebony kind of brought this up. Whoever wins the marathon, a lot of people would say, what was he wearing? And they like those brand of shoes. Maybe they're comfortable for walking or running or your everyday fitness. I don't know. All right, let's get into it. 1 point lead goes to Josh. Okay, so once again, if you want to be a part of 4th and 5, you want to be a sponsor, all you have to do is shoot me an email. We are open for sponsorship segments like This Day in History. Could have your brand and name all over it, okay? So if you're interested in that, all you have to do is shoot me an email at dj@4th5ar.com. That being said, we got 3 more rounds coming up. Can Matt win his first appearance on 4th and 5, the morning huddle? Let's get into This Day in History. One of our favorite segments, especially Grant's. He's probably sad he's missing this one. Got a few topics on this day, March 25th, all over the place. I got some questions for y'all, and we're going to see if we can win some people some mugs, all right? So welcome on into This Day in History. Yeah, get your mind right for that one. All right. First topic. All right, we know who we're playing for. You know this guy, the Big Bambino, Babe Ruth. All right. He signed a deal with Quaker Oats. You see it right there. 1937 is actually when they revealed the ad, but he started the partnership a little bit earlier. In 1937, after Quaker Oats had their brand partnership with Babe Ruth, how much did they pay him per year for endorsement? How much did Babe Ruth make per year from Quaker Oats in 1937? Who won? Josh, I'll start with you.
$10,000, DJ. $10,000.
$10,000. All right, Matt, what's your guess?
$9,000.
Oh, this is not The Price is Right. This is what these newbies come on here, and this is what they do. Have a real guess, bro.
Hey, I got cheated in round 1, okay?
The correct answer is $25,000. Point goes to Josh. All right, Matt, you need these next 2. You need the next 2 for a tie, then we'll go to a tiebreaker.
It's freaking Price is Right, kids, man.
Next topic. Actually, we got some audio for this one, all right? Still one of the biggest debates in my mind and in my soul to this day, all right? Do I believe after all these years that this individual was selfish? Yes. Do I think she only thought about herself? Yes. Do I think if she would have stayed on the first boat that she was on instead of hopping back on the ship so Jack could just worry about himself and not drag her around to the very end, that Jack would have lived? Yes. And I know for dang sure they could have took turns while on that dang door floating out in the middle of the ocean. But she's selfish, y'all. It's all about her, okay? Yeah. Oh, speaking of that door, on this day in 2024, the iconic door that she slept on while her love of her life died in the middle of the ocean, who froze to death, is up for auction. How much did that door sell for in auction in 2024? Matt, you're up first.
Wow, the Titanic door. I'm gonna go 1.2 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that answer. Well, first of all, DJ, this is a prime example of women thinking with their emotions, ain't it?
And what?
She should have just got on that boat.
But she should have stayed on the boat, but she got back home.
Yeah, he said get on the boat.
Man.
He's thinking logically about this.
Yeah,
we gotta get you off.
If I can get her to safety, then I can just worry about myself now, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Move quickly.
Oh my goodness, but she just felt she couldn't live without him. I guess she can't be separated.
And
so.
now she can. Now she can live without him because she has to, because she got back on the boat. And don't get me started.
Say,
wait. And then these people spend millions of dollars in a lifetime of research trying to find that dang diamond, and she had it the whole time and threw it back in the ocean. She's selfish, the most selfish person of all time. But go ahead, Josh.
We could go deeper with that, but I want to have a good marriage. So No, thank goodness my wife is not like that. She'll go, okay, I'll listen. Yeah, I'll get on the boat. Yep, bye. You know, I believe in you. You can save yourself. No, I would say, man, that's got to be more than 1.2 million, DJ. I'll say there's a lot of Titanic fans out there. If the door's real, is it the movie door or the door that, I don't know. Is this even a real story? Is Rose real?
There was an inspiration of a love story on the boat, but I don't think it went down. Yeah. This is the one that the iconic board that they didn't rip up the board from. I bet it would be kind of hard to find a random piece of debris in the middle of the ocean after.
Okay, I'm gonna say since it's the movie door, it's not a real door. I'm gonna say somebody paid $500,000 for it.
Oh, what'd you say, Matt?
1.2.
1.2, baby.
Correct answer is 718,750, which means Josh is closer, which means he takes a 3-point lead. He has the chance to complete the sweep. All right, now we're playing. Now we're playing for pride, Matt.
I'm doing it for you, Dad. I'm doing it for you.
You don't want to get swept. You don't want to get swept. All right, here we go. Last one of the day, and we have another audio for you. You know this guy? Oh, look at this guy, Puff Daddy. Yeah, we all know his obsession with baby oil. Here we go, y'all. Let's lock it in. On this day, March 25th, the year, what was that, 2 years ago? According to records obtained by the FBI, during their raid at P. Diddy's house, they confiscated and seized bottles of baby oil. How many bottles of baby oil on this day did the FBI take from Diddy's house?
Is this full-size bottles?
Full-size bottles. I think they're gallon bottles. Okay, and for the sake of giving Matt a chance, Josh, you answer first.
You know what a gallon looks like, DJ? A milk jug.
I've seen one before.
That 2 gallons?
I have seen one before.
Is a gallon? Is a milk jug 1 gallon or 2 gallons?
You're kidding me.
No, seriously.
DJ, is he on the show?
Do you know the answer? You just said,
me?
Tell me the answer. Is it 1 gallon or 2 gallons?
How long have you said a gallon of milk? Seriously?
A gallon of milk.
Sorry, fellas.
You don't do the grocery shopping.
I don't sit around and read the plastic bottle too often. So I'll say that they found 500 baby oils. 500 bottles.
500? And he's freaky. He's too freaky for that. I'm going to go 750.
Correct answer. The FBI seized 1,000 bottles of baby oil from P. Diddy's house. Man, does time fly? What are we doing, right?
Could you imagine either him going to the grocery store and picking that up, or like telling his assistant to do it, and you work for him? You're like, why am I doing this?
Valerie in the chat, who may be very up to date on this. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't dig into the FBI records of this whole ordeal when it came out. She says they were not gallon bottles. Okay, so bottles of baby oil. There we go. Congratulations, Matt. You didn't get swept. Ron. Good thing about it is we know your address. So here in a week, expect a 4th and 5 morning huddle mug in the mail. Once again, big shout out to our sponsors. And one more time, I want to make sure that people know a really cool spot. Fellas, y'all were gone when I did this, but we got a new partner here with 4th and 5, and they got a watch party tomorrow. I want to tell you all about one more time. Okay, so we're going to head on up to Parlay on 8th. A new spot up there in Northwest Arkansas that we are going to partner with now and during football season, but it's going to be your go-to spot when watching games, okay? This is unreal. They got shuffleboard. They have 30 TVs. It's going to be the new premier spot to watch games up in Bentonville. Bentonville's been missing something like this, and they're going to take care of everything. So once again, Parlay in 8th. You can see it right now. What an incredible spot. Drinks and food are top-notch, and they got big screens. They got flat screens. Like I said, 30 monitors. We're getting ready to call those hogs and have a spot up in Bentonville to watch the game. Crazy hog environment. Parlay on 8 is going to be the spot to be. Parlay on 8. Cannot wait. I'm all about it. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching the morning huddle. Don't forget to head on up out there. I'll also say this too, fellas. When it comes to game time, when we start doing our shows again, we're going to be there for our pregame show when the Hogs are on the road. Very excited about this. So for your road games, if you need a spot to watch the games up in Northwest Arkansas, 2 hours before kickoff with us, we set the scene, do the analyst stuff, and talk about what to expect in the game, do breakdowns. And the cool thing about this, now we have the ability to hook up to their monitors, and they got this big Jumbotron. So now you got a whole pregame Jumbotron show experience. Very excited about that one, but more excited about tomorrow. Tip-off. It's a late one for the Hogs over there at Parlay on 8th. Y'all go head out, have a good time. Appreciate y'all watching the morning show. Matt, I appreciate you. I mean that. One of my favorite people ever. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for bearing with the little audio issues at the beginning. But guess what? We got it figured out by the end of the show. Josh, have a good day today. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate y'all. Best way to support this channel, go to that YouTube page. Push that subscribe button. The more that happens, it helps us go talk to sponsors and just let this thing build and grow. Then you get more 4th and 5 each and every single day. That being said, we're signing off from DJ Williams. That's Josh Throne, Matt Harris in the house. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching 4th and 5.